Why do people hate being mundane?
Why do people hate being mundane? Yes. See, now, this might be unusual for most people to consider because most people spend their life being distracted or in pain, either suffering or pleasure, whatever, entertaining themselves, working, whatever, yeah? And so they rarely confront the mundane. Usually when they confront the mundane, it's when they're bored. They say, I'm bored. I don't have anything to do. And they don't like being bored. But let's consider this matter. I want you to consider and notice that if you do nothing but, say, sit, not even contemplate. What? Don't even contemplate. Don't question, Now you'll probably start thinking, but then try to stay present, yeah? And, lighten up on your thinking, fantasies. Now that probably won't last for long no matter what you do. If you're just sitting, people get into solitary confinement, they don't like it. Why? See, it's hard to get distracted in solitary confinement. You know what I'm saying? See, and your thinking can only go so far, and eventually you start noticing, well, if I'm in a fucking cell here, okay, and life's not going anywhere, and I'm just with myself. The horror. All right? See, so you start, noticing it. People have a huge reaction. Again, people, okay, I'll just go with it. People have a huge reaction to being mundane. They don't want their self, their life to be mundane and bored and meaningless. You see, because like right there with meaningless, right there with mundane is meaningless, right? Like it's mundane. It doesn't have significance. It's not valuable. It's not exciting. It's not, because that's the whole definition of mundane, right? And you don't want to be mundane, right? Me, your existence, yourself, mundane? Yes. What? See, come on. Who's going to tell you that? No fucking spiritual practice that you're going to go to or anything else that you're going to go to is going to say, no, just, be mundane. No, don't go anywhere. Don't do anything. Just be mundane, Doesn't mean anything. See, no, they're going to give you something to do to yourself, to think. They're going to give you a fantasy, right? Come on, you're doing Zen. Now, come on. If you've done Zen or, I don't know, anything else, perhaps the Zen's kind of on the more austere side, fewer bells and whistles. I'm sure you go through periods where you're bored to tears. Sitting looking at a wall. If you're doing it like in a monastery or a sesshin or something like that. If you do it at home, you probably start thinking and stuff, and but still, I bet sometimes you get bored to tears, and then you go get, some soup or a beer or something, right? At some point you're going to take a break, and you know that. So you only do it for a period of time, and what accompanies that period of time, hopefully for you, right, is a fantasy. I'm doing Zen. I'm being so Zen. I'm contemplating. I'm going to get enlightened. Yes, I'm almost there. Yes, I can feel it. Here it comes. Oh, well, that wasn't it. Okay. All right, well, try again. Yeah. See, but sometimes, I'll bet, even, in between your fantasies, the truth hits. That's you're just meaningless and mundane. See? And the Zen is just full of shit. It's a fantasy. I'm not saying there's no truth involved. The whole purpose is to try to find some truth, but come on, the fantasy overwhelms, and you wouldn't be doing it if it didn't have fantasy, right? Getting enlightened, free, and stuff like that. And guess what? You want to get enlightened. So if you get enlightened, you're not mundane, are you? I'm just saying. See, so one of the things I push people toward is be mundane. Don't run from it. Don't hide from it. Don't get yourself distracted. And if you watch, 99% of your life is being distracted. You say, well, but it's important stuff. Okay, maybe for your life, it's important. But so what? You're still distracted, you see? You do this, you do that. I got to get this done. I got to do this. Now I got to have a drink. I got to have lunch. Oh, I got to talk to my friends. I got to go to work. I got to get on the bus. I got to go bowling. I got to, whatever. I go to the bar. I got to get laid. Okay, good. Whatever you're doing, see? It's like while you're doing all those things, read a book, you're distracted, right? And thank God, yes? What are you being distracted from? You say, well, I'm not being distracted. I'm just living life. Yeah. Well, what drives you to have to keep living life in that way? See, now, let's postulate for a moment that you're afraid of being mundane. And so no matter what, you would prefer to do the dishes than be mundane. And you don't like doing dishes, perhaps, but you prefer that because now you're doing something. You say you're distracted. Feel like you're accomplishing something. You have some worth, some value, huh? Even if it's just being a dishwasher. All right. But now, again, go back to the mundane. Don't avoid it. Don't turn your back on it. You see, like I say to my apprentices, where's the last place you're going to look, for enlightenment, for consciousness, for whatever, The last place you're going to look is probably the mundane, isn't it? That you do not want it to turn out that you're mundane, that life is mundane, that you're meaningless, that life is meaningless, even though it is actually true. You see, you don't want it to turn out that way. You'll go screaming into the night, pulling your hair out. It's like, rather than, being the mundane. Just take a look at us. Yeah, but let's hang with that for a moment, okay? Be mundane. Be a See, in order to try to have it hit home, I have to say some things that sound rather negative, okay? But we hold, mundane as negative, okay? See, like you're a worthless piece of shit. You have no meaning. You see, nothing's going anywhere. You're so vacuous, empty, and worthless, just in your very existence. My God, you don't want to go there. Now imagine, that is really your condition. And the rest is distraction. The rest is living a life that you think is going to lead somewhere. And good for you. Good for you. And then you're going to die. But you ignore that one completely. In any case, you can see how being mundane is kind of right there near your fear of death, probably, you see. It's like, what kind of life is that? It's horrible. I would rather be tortured than be mundane, perhaps, until you're being tortured. And then you say, no, give me the mundane, please, give me the mundane. In any case, hang with that for a moment. And then, first of all, go there. Again, not questioning, not contemplating. I understand the beauty of questioning and contemplating. I do it all the time. Hey, I got to keep myself distracted. In any case, you see, just hang with this you without any kind of distraction, without any kind of fantasy, without any kind of filling in the blanks, pleasure or pain, without doing so, without worth, without ideals, without destiny, none of that. You just existing in this moment. Okay? Now try to take the negative out of it. Don't put any positive in it either. Just notice that. And then, first of all, notice how difficult it is to take the negative out of it, you see? Because you'll freak out, right? Say, no, I cannot be mundane. Anything but that. Anything but that. I'm a special, unique individual. You know, I need to be valued and loved and accepted as a special, unique individual. Now, doesn't that seem to fit better? Okay, you know, to the way you think of yourself, want to think of yourself, and want others to think of you. And doesn't that also encapsulate any kind of spiritual practice you might take up, you know, or personal growth? You know, you don't take up any personal growth practice to achieve mundane, do you? My God, I'm a level 5 mundaneness, whatever, you know. I'm so worthless and empty, I'm almost in nirvana. You know, but think about it, okay? You know, this avoidance, you know, take a moment and don't avoid it. Okay? Consider it actually a very powerful place to be. All right? Because it strips away all the crap that keeps you distracted or in fantasy land. Okay? And keeps you hopeful and keeps you, you know, again, trying to be a special, unique individual. I got news for you. You're not special. You're not unique. What? No, everybody's special and unique. Yeah. Just like a snowflake. And every snowflake is unique. It's only special if we say so, but it's all just snow. There's nothing special about it. And there's nothing really unique about it, because every snowflake is, you know, a snowflake. It's just frozen sludge. All right? In any case, say, get over the idea. Try. Give it a shot. Give it a shot. You see, you think, no, this doesn't sound good. I'm going to find a different teacher. You know, this sucks. I mean, come on. I can appreciate that. See? But try to get over, if nothing else, just to practice, okay? Don't freak, okay? You can always go back to being special, unique individual and all that crap. But try and get over it for a moment. Just for a moment. Entertain, you're not special, you're not unique, and you're not an individual. And it doesn't matter. Your life doesn't matter. You don't matter. Wow, that sounds harsh, doesn't it? I mean, that sounds like a dagger right into the heart of all spirituality and all beliefs and all religions and all social attainment and ideals. Yep. Go ahead. Stick a dagger into the heart of all that. What? Well, you know, I'm special and unique. As a teacher, you think? Nobody would go down that road, yeah? But do. I just, as an exercise. Just as an exercise, like, you know. I mean, I love you, and I know how special and unique you really are, so it's okay. Just do this as an exercise, you see? You can go back to it. See, but drop all that, and then drop yourself. You see, if you can't confront being mundane and meaningless, how are you going to even approach dropping yourself? How are you going to even approach the truth, really? I mean, really. You know, you think, you know, we hear stories about the gurus, the wise man up on the mountaintop, right? It's a cartoon visited quite often, you see. But we think about these, you know, hermits and people who go off and live, you know, in a cave or whatever, right? Now, and then, see, in our minds, they're getting wise, and so they're, you know, sitting in the cave or sitting on the mountaintop, and they're being wise, And this is great for them, right? And we got to go up there and find the meaning of life, by asking them. Right, sure. I'm sure that worked for them. But in any case, if asking somebody about the meaning of life was what worked, why were they on the mountaintop? Okay? Now, let's rethink this a moment. Now, they may have, obviously they have some kind of strong belief system or some kind of fantasy or some kind of whatever, in order to do that, right? Some kind of commitment to something, maybe some kind of commitment to the truth in some way. But you don't think they go through hours, days, months, and years of being mundane, of being bored out of their minds? What do you think they're doing there? They're sitting there in the cave or whatever, whatever they're doing. See, now, likely they'll have some kind of practice they're doing, like Zen or whatever, like contemplating, right? They can't contemplate, or they're not going to contemplate 24 hours a day. Yeah? See? And even while they're contemplating, they're going to confront a lot of meaninglessness, a lot of mundane, a lot of bored, a lack of distraction. They probably look forward to going out and, foraging for food. Because remember, they got to eat. We forget all that, or taking a shit. Oh boy, I get to take a shit. Good. God, this sitting sucks. Okay, back to it. Anyway, see? So what's the confrontation there? And why don't most people do something like that? Why is it, considered a special individual that can even approach something like that? Because nobody can do that. They can't allow themselves to be mundane, for the most part, right? They have to be distracted. And even the guy in the cave, whatever, in the mountaintop, probably has something he devotes himself to distract him. Maybe he does a mantra, maybe he has a question he's asking, maybe he has a routine that he does, who knows, right? But he keeps that up. But you yourself well know that no matter what it is, it's going to be repetitious and it's going to get old. And at some point, 10 years in, you think his mantra is going to have any kind of specialness to it anymore? You think his contemplation is going to have any whoopee-doo, I'm going to get... No, it's not. It's going to get old, right? See? And then perhaps he drops all that and goes for the truth. And he doesn't avoid the fact that he is mundane, that he doesn't know what's going on. How about that, huh? See, because the true questioning happens when you grasp you don't know what's going on. But that's a whole thing of not knowing, and I wrote a book, so you just read the book. All right. In any case, you see the challenge there. It's quite a challenge. And I recommend that you don't avoid being mundane, that you go, this is your, how do you say, real condition. It's like when you give up the bullshit, this is your real condition, so good. Get with your real condition, stop with the distractions, and now contemplate. Okay? Not a fantasy, that. Contemplate that. You, that. Mundane, meaningless. What is true? All right? Anyway, so we can see how, people are desperate to avoid being mundane. They run from it constantly. Just take a look. Take a look at your own life. Take a look. See? Most people live a life where it's so occupied, with stuff. You see that they never even notice that this confrontation with, what I call mundane, meaningless, whatever, You see? But, take a look and see where it goes. Yes, sir?
Yeah, because I don't think people would even know to look there.
They would not know to look there, but they would avoid it like the plague. I know that because, I keep, anyway, I've had experience with people. And it's like, see, it's the last place you want to look. You run to spiritual practices and belief systems and religions and books and whatever. You run to those things to avoid that, not to embrace it. Anyway, and given it's real, true, it's something you have to confront it. Confront it. Don't run from it. And consider not making it a negative, just making it a so. Oh, wow. And then go deep into it. All right? And then you might grasp something that you have never grasped before. Yes, sir.
And I'm hearing you say something like, confront it because it already is a condition in which we find ourselves and so busily move past it.
It's an incredibly basic condition. It might be what I'm talking about here, might be, the most basic condition. Say, like what you want to avoid. And the most basic condition, well, what's most true of your experience as a person, as a being, say, say. And you don't want to go there, but of course you have to go there. Come on. If it's the most, say, true thing about you, if it's the most basic thing about you,
yes,
and that you desperately want anything else to be true, well, yeah, okay, but it's not. Say, so you get with like, okay, what's the most basic thing? And go there. Maybe there's something even more basic than that, but you see, like start with what you can, and go there. Don't avoid it.
So how did you discover to go to the mundane? How did that even come up for you in the first place?
Well, obviously, such a discovery comes from trying to grasp what's true. See? And that really can't happen, especially in this work, unless you get past all the fantasies, see? All the spiritual bullshit, that accompanies every belief system, really. I mean, really, every belief system. Think about it. There's not one belief, like I said before, there's not one belief system that has, mundane as a goal. Okay? Not one. Which is kind of a mistake, I think. Not that you're like, trying to achieve the mundane, you're trying to grasp what's true. And in the place of mundane, bored, meaningless, you see, in that place, there is a truth in there. See, there's a you in there that you don't want to look at. So for me, an example, you see, I try to look everywhere. And I also notice that people really run from the whole idea, the whole possibility of being mundane, meaningless, and bored. You just stare into the reality. You see, stare into the reality. And as you're doing that, get past all beliefs and also all opinions you have. Because you will have a cosmology. You'll have a belief system, a way of looking at the world, things that you think are true. Okay? Some of them you think are factually true or just objectively true. And some are just thoughts you have or beliefs you have, or assumptions that are overlooked. But all of that, right, is a barrier, okay, to real contemplation and investigation. See? Because when you're looking at life or your experience or you through the filter of what you can, what you assume or believe, you see, or take for granted, etc., that sets the stage for what you'll look for. So people will sit and consider, who am I? Whatever, what am I? Whatever. And they're looking for something special. You see? Or they're looking for something, like, some kind of freedom or feeling good or some enlightenment or some great experience they're going to have of who they are. They don't just look for who they are. Think, who am I? Who am I? Not, no idea, no Zen ideas, Vipassana ideas, no, Hindi ideas, no, whatever, American Indian ideas or Aztec ideas or ancient Greek ideas. None. No matter what the ideas are or were, they're not useful. They're just ideas. They're just things that people made up. Right? Now, I want the kundalini up my spine. I want to bathe in a golden light. I want to become one with everything. I want to enter nirvana. I want to, these are a few, right? Okay. So, or whatever, whatever. I want to be a higher self or whatever, whatever it is. Soul. But that's all you. That's all based on you. And that's all based on you wanting something. And that goes nowhere. What? Why does it go nowhere? Well, because, you're not that important. Okay? As a matter of fact, you don't exist. And you're going to die. See? That goes nowhere. So you want to, okay, no, I got this destiny. So what? You're going to die. Is that your destiny? Is that what you want? Well, no, I want life after death. So you don't want death. You see? See how stupid that is? I believe in life after death. Then it's not death! You get it? It might be a big change, but it's not death. Okay? Because you just look at the sentence. Life after death. That's called life. All right? After death. Okay? Life. So, yeah, no, that ain't going to happen. Well, at least I could be reborn, as a butterfly. Okay? Yeah. No, that ain't going to happen either. You see, just, full of these ideas or whatever, you see. And I would say, toss them. What's true? What's true? But that means you have to boldly go where, as far as you know, nobody's ever gone before. Yeah? Yeah. Why not? But I have to base my search on the wisdom of ancients. I have to base my search on the wisdom of this belief system that I believe in, or the spiritual practice that I believe in, or this contemplative practice that I believe in. Or I have to base my search and try to make it all work out like Ralston says it's all worked out, No, none of it. None of it. And I'm serious about that, See, do I, I think I want you to, read my stuff, do my workshops, stuff like that I worked hard to create and try to communicate something. Sure, I do. Are you going to understand it? No, of course not. Not right off anyway. It takes work. See, and it should stimulate you in ways that push you to the edge for yourself. Like this whole conversation about being mundane. Nobody looks there. Nobody goes there, you see? See? But then if I mention it, you might, right? See? You might sit down and go, wow, that's not a place I would have ever looked. And this could be incredibly valuable for you. See? But still, you're the one that has to do it. You're the one who has to approach it. See? And then you have to consider, right? What are you doing that it wouldn't even come up for you in your search for the truth? Right? See, what is this search for the truth that you're engaged in that you wouldn't even consider, going into, mundane, bored, meaningless? See, which is a condition that you, let's say, suffer constantly, but never notice it because you're so damn busy being distracted. Okay? But at times, those moments, you have those moments, right? I guess, I don't know. But I suspect everybody has those moments that scare the shit out of them, really. See, whether they say not or not, it's like, I'm just bored, or life is meaningless, or I'm not going anywhere, or like this is, I'm insignificant, whatever. These kinds of moments, right? When you're just kind of hanging out and say, what, is this all there is, kind of deal, right? Kind of behind that statement and sentiment, is this all there is mundane. You see what I'm saying? And then you go, well, but there's got to be more. No. Why do you want more? Well, this can't be all there is. This can't be, I'm not happy. Well, that's your problem. You should change that. One of the ways you change that is get over yourself. But that's another story, another workshop. In any case, just imagine, if you will, I don't want you to take my word for it, God damn it, all right? But imagine that all spiritual practices are full of hooey. Just entertain that notion, because it could be true, right? I mean, really. Matter of fact, it is. But, okay, it could be true that all spiritual practices, all philosophical endeavors are full of hooey. And what I mean by that is that they're just ideas, beliefs, and, stuff, inventions that people have made up, maybe to try to lead others toward discovering the truth for themselves. Probably not in most cases, but some cases, yeah. Or as, a way to distract yourself, keep you busy, give dignity to your life, that kind of thing, right? Maybe improve your life in some way. But again, remember, improving your life in some way is not contemplation, is not enlightenment, it is not the truth. Which is to say, it's not the pursuit of what's true. It's the pursuit of what's good for you. It's the pursuit of improving your life in some way. Okay? Say you. Again, seems you keep getting in here. You improving your life in some way. Okay, great. Improve your fucking life. Great. See, feel good about it. What does that have to do with the truth? Nothing. Is it a bad thing? No, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Improve your life. I just said improve your life. You don't believe me? What? You're not listening? What? Okay, come on. See? Go ahead. But it has nothing to do with the truth. You see, and you want your pursuit of the truth to improve your life. Do you follow? And that gets in the way. Now, you see, going through the mundane, that's not like an improvement on your life, is it? Okay, good. See, there might be some use to it then, huh? You follow? You see, I want to be better. I don't want this mundane existence to be all there is. I want something more. You're looking for the wrong thing. Grasp what the mundane existence is. What's the truth? You say, but, see, maybe you don't really grasp what's true about it. You don't grasp what, your very being is. You see? Because you're so afraid of the mundane, perhaps, see, or meaningless or whatever, you see? And so, being distracted isn't going to help that, is it? See, because no matter what the distraction is, no matter what road you go down, you stop doing that, you're mundane again. You see? As long as you're not filling the space, you see? It's like, I don't know, just, like say you have a drive to eat, and maybe you overeat, right? And when you have this drive to eat, what's the drive about? Say, hunger. No, it's not about hunger at all. You're probably most of the time not hungry and are not very hungry except in your heart. You see? In other words, except it for the pain. All right? That's the hunger that you suffer. And that when you eat something, it gives you pleasure. Right? And so you have the pleasure of the eating and the taste and whatever like that. Oh, good. I'm eating. And then that distracts you from the pain. Does it make the pain go away? No. It temporarily seems to make it go away because now you're pleasured. and you're being in pleasure, you see? And so, oh, good, this, I go, and pleasure. So the same kind of dynamic, see, with the mundane. It doesn't make it go away. It doesn't alter what's true for you. It just keeps you distracted from it. It gives you some pleasure or pain or work or whatever. It gives you something to do that's not that. All right? And so when you try to confront that, yeah, you say, and you go, well, eating's not going to do it for me, and being distracted and entertained endlessly isn't going to do it for me, and reading the novel's not going to do it for me, and oh, maybe, and it's like, oh, I'm still having some troubles here with life, I'm suffering a bit, I don't know why, so I'll take up a spiritual practice, I'll take up some kind of, practice, oh, consciousness, that sounds good, I want to get conscious, yeah, okay, good. You see, but it's still the same drive, isn't it? See? You're trying to get out of the suffering. You're trying to get out of the mundane. You're trying to get out of the pain. You're trying to get out, what's the condition that you find yourself in, which is like, existing here and you don't know what the fuck's going on, but you're not really happy about it, right? All right. So in any case, that's another story. You could be happy about it, but it's not by avoiding what's true. It's like this thing, I was listening to the other day, people doing the Ozempic or whatever, this new chemical that people shoot into themselves so that they lose weight, with diet and exercise. Anyway, I just think that's funny but anyway, apparently it works, right? And what I heard the people saying about it is, well, what it does is I lose my appetite. I don't need to eat. See, I lose this drive to eat all the time. Oh, good. So I don't know what it does. I really don't know what it does, in the brain. I've never done it, and I don't know how it works. But you see, they lose the drive. Oh, and then they lose weight. How about that? See, there's another way to go about that, which is, of course, much harder, is have the discipline, okay, to not eat. See? And that also works. It really does. I mean, that's how that works, right? Say, well, no. Some people say, well, no, I can't. I'm fat because it's my glands. Yeah, right. Oh, I'm obese. I gain weight because, my metabolism, I just can't, it's not my fault. I can't help it. Well, have you ever seen pictures of the people in the concentration camps? In Nazi Germany? I mean, really, right? Do you see anyone there fat? I mean, overweight? Even healthy? You know what I'm saying? No, they're all skinny as rails. They're all of them. I'll bet you among them, some of them had metabolism problems, okay? Like that, that would gain weight, Probably some of them were chubby in life, et cetera, et cetera, Probably some of them had, this pain in their heart where they had the drive to eat, et cetera, et cetera. All right, see, but what was common is they didn't get fed, okay? They had very little food. That they lost weight. So I'm just saying, you see, this is evident. It's a cause and effect kind of thing, all right? Just take a look, all right? Anyway, but I'm trying to make a point here, and I might be getting lost with this point. There's the behavior, but also you can stop the drive. Now, apparently, they have got now a chemical that helps you do that. All right. But now what about the possibility of you doing that? Okay? So you find the drive and stop it. See now, yeah, no, excuse, no, justification, no, blah, 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 belief. Okay, good. Give up the excuses, the justification, the beliefs. Now, find the drive and stop it. Now, I would imagine, here's going to lead me back here. I would imagine that one of the things behind that drive is the mundane. Now, I've just made the mundane into the most sacred thing on the planet, right? You see? Okay. But in any case, you see but you see what I'm saying? It's like that suffering, that fear that, I can't, something is wrong with me. I have to do it. I have to eat. I have to do spiritual practice. I have to watch a movie, something, because something's wrong here. And if I don't do something, I have to confront that. Okay, relax, confront it. But, okay, relax. Okay, you relaxed? Breathe? Okay, confront it. Okay, you see? Like, oh, wow, okay, good, wonderful, good. Now you're on top of something, you see. You're on top of something true that no spiritual belief system is going to give you, you see, or lead you to. You're on top of something true that you live every day, but don't look into. Because, you don't want to. All right. Okay, so now in here, I'm supposed to say something like, yes, but on the other side of that is happiness and bliss. Or on the other side is freedom. Okay, maybe. Yeah, but you don't do it for that reason. Well, maybe you do. I don't know what you're going to do. But you see the direction that people won't go into. They don't want to know what's true. Even in the very mundane sense. Oh, we're back to mundane again. You see what I'm saying? Just the lackluster, like, oh, you mean true like I'm not happy? True like I'm not complete with myself? True like, there's something missing? True like, I'm I'm not unique and special? True like I'm suffering here? True like whatever, that kind of stuff, right? See, your condition, right? Your condition. See? And in my thinking, my world, you confront that head on. You like it? No, of course not. That's why you run from it. But confront it, grab it, throttle it, just like that drive to eat thing. Grab it, throttle it, find out. You may have to delve into it. You might have to contemplate. You might have to stay with it for a while. I don't know. Depends, on how it goes for you. See? But find out what's true. You see? Don't avoid it. And, and then while don't commit suicide. Okay. Oh, this sucks, man. No, it doesn't. You can be complete. You can have these are possibilities, really. See, there's nothing wrong with you, okay, etc. You don't. It's a long story, but we'll probably save the long story for other times and for workshops, okay? Then we get deep into it and not just a podcast. You see, but, take a look and find out what's really true beyond your suffering. And here's a key point, beyond you. See? And again, that's another place nobody will ever think to go. Beyond me? What? Seriously, right? Right? Come on. Beyond me? That doesn't even make sense. No, I want to be enlightened. I want to be free. I want to be in nirvana. Uh-huh. Okie dokie. You keep thinking that. That's what you're good at. All right. I think we've made some headway with this, yeah?